All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin,
I'm Tarsha.
and this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations concerning faith, family, relationships, and recaps, review, and commentary regarding some of our favorite shows. This one is dedicated to part 2 of the reunion event for Ready to Love Season 5 DC edition. Actually, PG County and Virginia edition. All right, so this is content that you enjoy. Make sure you do the following. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit like, request notifications,
And share.
and we, of course, will always see you, meet you, have conversations with you in the comments.
In the comments.
In the comments. All right, we're triggered tonight. All right.
KT Squad.
What's up, squad? All right, so we didn't do a live on this one. We wanted to just have this conversation because this one, so we pick up with kind of where it left off last week with Tasia walking out, Camille in her delusional state saying she didn't say what she said.
Right.
So they're like, okay, whatever. So then we get to Zadia, and Zadia is booed up with Nye. And they have a connection, is what she says.
Yeah.
And that she chose him, is what she says. So evidently, I think one of Camille's personalities got loose.
Shut up.
And is speaking in the ear of Zadia, because that's not what we saw.
That's not what she said.
Yeah, because we have this whole segment. We have the conversation even about her, well, we'll talk about that later about the red flag behavior, but she chose Nye after Dante did not choose her. So yes, she chose the option that was available to her. I think she chose that option just so, if nothing else, she could sit on the couch at the reunion special.
I just know it started at the retreat. He came looking for her first.
That's true.
To me, anyone that's interested in you, they'll come and seek you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a sign, just in body language.
Right.
Dante came, sought Zadia out.
Yep.
Zadia came off the ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, I can't find a room.
She's like, the slave quarters are over there.
There's room on the other side of the house. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think she looked up while she was getting her stuff out.
No.
Then she walking around the house with Naeem.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a brother, like I came to sort you out, you're not giving me any attention, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't the only woman in here either.
Right.
So he already making a connection with Aisha. I don't want to call it Aisha.
Mm-hmm.
On, over the phone.
Right.
He was like, well, I'll check on see what she doing.
Let's see what's happening here.
So she started it, but she couldn't finish it.
Right. She was trying to have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
In many respects.
Yeah.
And the reason that, in my opinion, she wanted Dante more than she wanted Nye, she expressed great emotional issues towards Dante that we didn't see her express or haven't seen her express towards Naeem. Hear me. When you are emotionally invested in someone, you can be triggered, right? You can be triggered when there's emotional investment into it, right? If you don't really care, then it's like, okay, it's like what it is.
It is what it is.
And Naeem's sitting there like he got the prize, and bruh.
You know what? I'm like, he can
be
in delusion if he wants to be.
You and Cornelius can be, I think, who is it? Babyface. I guess that Zadia and Camille both got that whip appeal because them brothers looking whipped.
I just, I'd rather her be honest. Like when she was sitting there, she said, now that I look back at it, he was just saying that he has two options now. But because I was so into him, I didn't hear that he was just indicating that there's two people he's now currently interested in.
Right.
And because I just heard it that I felt I was now off the table, I was into him. Mm-hmm. And I got upset. Mm-hmm. I'd rather her said that than for her to play like she had the options all the time.
Right.
And she was so undecided because they were so close.
Mm-hmm.
And she never gave that vibe.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
And for you to come back at the heat of the moment, that's what you really felt.
Yep.
That's what you're thinking.
Yep.
That's what your subconscious is saying.
Yep.
And so when she tapping on his nose and telling her plain truth,
mm-hmm.
and then decide to walk out like you're the one's gonna miss out on this, because then she demeans Aisha, right?
Right.
She called, oh, she's dumb, whatever, saying that she's smarter than her. You picked the wrong person. Then she walks out.
Dante dodged a bullet. Let's just be honest. Dante dodged a bullet. Maybe even literally, because she might be. Yeah.
So, so she could, if that makes her feel better, she got to do, and she gonna hold on to him after the reunion's over. Good for them. Good for them.
Because yeah, we've seen some videos where some of the cast is talking, or some of the guys on the cast are kind of, or from even previous seasons, are talking about how Naeem was like, I can't do that. Zadia don't want me to do that. As far as who is it, one of the guys from Houston said that
wasn't it
Ron and Jay were kind of like, he Zadia won't let me go out. Zadia already told me where I need to go. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. So Walter then comes into play. Right. They talk to Walter. And of course, we know Walter was left on that bridge after he spent all that time throwing rose petals all over the bridge.
You know what? Getting his speech together, making sure he looking good for the camera. Find out that he was going to be going home alone.
Because he was like, I choose. Y'all remember? He was like, I choose you. And she was like, yeah.
So in this one, he was like, I was really caught off guard.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Now, I don't know. Someone wasn't calling somebody. He's saying he was, and she should have called him.
Right.
But I totally get her perspective. If we were talking on a daily basis, you would have known.
Right. Where I'm at.
For you not to know where I am and haven't talked to me in a couple of days, yeah, dude, you weren't into her. Yeah. And you can let it be so. Or you even being friends. Like, even as a friend, I would call you, say, hey, how you feeling? We're coming down to the end, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because he was like, he caught me off guard. He didn't expect it. And that they were closer than that. But us watching it, right, was like,
ooh, you give
we see that they could be a good fit, right? I think that's what we say kind of all season. We see that they could be a good fit.
Right.
But, because he had an issue that, kept bringing up the fact that she was a former stripper.
Right. And we're like, okay, where's that coming from?
And then the one thing that did kind of at least get resolved was our concern that he didn't want kids, or he wanted kids. And Sabrina had said, at least on camera all the time, that she was done. But for Walter said that, she at some point was like, she at least was considering it. It would be an option for her.
Right.
Right.
She might not have been touching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm sorry.
Because she said, she did say that she was too old for Walter, and they're about the same age. But from a childbearing standpoint.
For a childbearing standpoint, right. Yes. So, but you need to be honest with a man who says they still want kids. And my thing is this. I get the aspiration of bearing a child with your DNA.
Right.
But you are in your 40s.
Yep.
And so let's be really honest. At this point, shouldn't you think like either adoption or someone who already has kids saying, you know what? It just wasn't in the cards for me. And I'm going to love someone else's child. And he could adopt them.
Or surrogate. He could have a surrogate mother. Right?
That's true. They
could do a surrogate, right?
That's true.
I just don't
there's
know.
So many options.
I'm just saying, I just don't know about being, he's what, 44, 45, somewhere in that range. Having a child, and now you're talking, raising that child at least till 18, right?
At least, at the very
So that
minimum.
puts you at 62, 63, correct. Somewhere in that range.
Correct.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying
I don't.
we're empty nesters at this point. I'm good.
And I'm just like, ooh, Jesus. So and then the thing is, she's had kids, so she knows what it takes, right?
Right.
And so when you're choosing not to have children after a certain age,
Yep.
and he never experienced that, like, are you planning to get up most of the time?
Yeah.
Are you planning to get them stank diapers?
Yeah.
Those bombers.
Okay.
And everything that comes with raising a child, because I've done it. And don't think I'm going to be up all night. I'm not breastfeeding. I'm not, especially have a surrogate. So my thing to him is like, did he, because as he goes on, he is getting older himself.
Right.
And he can't have no Moses experience. So let's go ahead.
You mean Abraham?
Or Abraham, whoever. All of them in the old, they were still getting it on in their old age.
Right.
So you getting it on and going to have kids when you in your 60s, 55?
Nah.
Where's his limit?
Right.
What is his cutoff?
At some point, he's got to say, you know what?
It's just not in my cards.
Just not in my cards. But then, you know, they were talking about Mumin, because the question, of course, you know, some of the cast was saying that they thought that Sabrina was always Walter's first choice. And even Mumin was like, she felt like she was, what was it, secret lovers.
Right.
That's what we are. She felt that they were secret lovers every time Sabrina was around.
Right. So he's like, and that was pinpointing Sabrina. Why would she feel like she wasn't the number one? Because in her eyes, it was about the private times being number one.
Right.
Not being number one in public.
Right.
Because you can make anyone look like number one in public.
Right.
But your feelings and your emotions, when the camera's not around, she didn't feel number one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. And they do at least hug going into commercials. So, you know.
They've sat together.
Right. So.
They'll be friends.
They'll be okay.
They'll be friends.
Then we get into the conversation of Cornelius and Courtney. If you remember, Courtney was there for a hot minute.
Right.
She was pressing on Cornelius really. She was like, look, I'm not waiting. I want a sample.
Right.
I can't wait till I'm married. She did at least clarify. She's like, what she's saying is she's not going to be there waiting 2 years for them to figure things out and before she at least, you know, takes the next step.
Right.
So it's not like she's just trying to get with him for day one. She's at least saying at some point, if we're going to move forward, things would have to happen for her.
You know, I think for Courtney, I think it's just about being the woman and chasing.
Yeah.
There is such an adrenaline, like, hey, I'm chasing after you, and you're, you know, and we're playing this cat and mouse game.
Right.
So I think for her, I don't think she was like into him, right? It was more like, you're a good cat, you're a good looking man,
right?
And so I think later on when she's ready, because I don't think she doesn't come off that she was ready to settle down with one person to me.
No,
at least not during the show and how they portrayed her on.
Right.
But hopefully there's gonna come a time she will.
Yep.
So,
and then our favorite, first date king, Corey.
Yes, Corey.
So just as a reminder, because they do, of course, production was great, at least about reminding you who said what, everything going on. So if you remember, Corey kind of was copying pasting everything, even to Mumin and to Courtney,
right?
About I want you to meet my mom, my parents. Right. I want you to this,
right.
So, and then some of the cast comes to his defense. I know Sabrina was like, look, she was like, looking at him kind of crazy at the beginning, but now they talk a lot and they're good friends, and she kind of gets him. Cornelius and Camille co-signed him, which that makes him suspect in my eyes anyway. And then that was pretty much it, right?
Right. And I think the guys overall, they thought he was quirky or whatever, but they weren't like, I think they were like trying to big bro him, right?
Right.
And they think he was a little bro.
Right.
So, but I think the problem came in again is he doesn't know how to navigate.
Right.
So you're picking all these women and everybody gets to come. There's no one that feels special.
Right.
Because you're saying you're making everyone special.
Right.
Well, only the one you really want to love should be the special one.
Right.
And that's not what he's getting.
Right.
So when they saw him and that he was crying during his private session about what he was doing, you know, they were like, was this real? And they were like, no, that's his real feelings. I get that he may feel that he can't get past the first date.
Right.
And he's frustrated that this should work. Women wants to be pampered.
Right.
Women want to be considered special. Yes. But each woman wants their own experience.
Right. And here's the thing, you know, as you just said that, I think he has to realize he can't bring 6-month vibes into day one environments. In other words, because he does this thing of crying and saying, you know, why do I do these things I do? And I really want, you know, women to like me and and I want for women to look at me the way that my mom looks at my dad. I get that, right? I think every man wants to, especially if you saw that modeled for you,
right?
Every man wants to be the hero of the family,
correct?
And definitely in the eyes of the woman that he's with, right?
Right.
But I don't think because I think what he's doing is he's trying to give the affection, attention, and all of that. Now that we've been together for 6 months, I can do those things, and they come off genuine. They come off what they are, but I can't do that on the first date.
You can't manufacture it,
right?
And you can't, like, he puts it so concentrated. Like, one was with Mameen. And put their initials in a tree.
Yeah.
So hold on. This is our first date.
Right.
We're not together. Normally that symbolizes people who are together.
Right.
We just met.
Right.
So you put my name on my cup, like on my Starbucks cup, with a heart on it.
Right.
You don't put both our names in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like he can't measure being in a full relationship.
Right.
He needs to start like, this is baby step training wheels.
Right.
I just met you. You're spoon feeding me a little bit of love. Not pouring love on me to the point where you're suffocating me. Like, dude, how I know I want to be with you in a month? Right. But my initial now in this tree.
So now if I ever come to this tree, I gotta explain why my initials in this tree.
Right. What's the mother do? Because we don't break up.
We not going to get tattoos on the first date, matching tattoos. That don't work.
Because he was saying, well, I'm speaking into the future. Well, you done spoke every woman in your future, and now none of them are there.
Right.
So stop.
Including the other one and this is again indicative of the production not always giving us really what's fully happening, right? Understand it's a 60-minute show every week.
You have to cut somewhere.
You have to cut somewhere.
Because they only have one date on the show.
Right.
Scene.
So you see Tasia and Corey, because now they're talking to Tasia, and Tasia's like, I've been waiting for Corey to tell the truth. So basically, you know, we saw during the season that this love triangle, if you will, between Corey, Courtney, and Mameen, right? Well, we find out on the reunion that Tasia's also in the mix there.
Right. He's dating her.
Right. And the same things that he was saying to Courtney and to Mameen as far as meeting my parents, all that, he's got that going on with Tasia as well. And then he tried, you know, he basically, she starts trying to talk, and he's like, let me explain, let me do this. And she's like, no, just tell the truth. Just, was I part of this? Was I involved with this?
Because and I understand, and this is what we were saying through the whole season with her. He calls her a dark horse. And she's like, what does that mean? He said, well, because once I can peel off one layer of you and it seems like you relax and you chill, then it's hard for me to get to the next layer of you.
Right.
Which is true.
Right.
What he said about that is true.
Right.
And that he was trying to share with the other guys is like, nah, she good, dude. But you gotta get her to peel the layers back.
But then Walter was like, we never had an issue with Tasia.
Right.
She was never anybody's really top choice.
Right.
But she wasn't in the bottom either.
She wasn't in the bottom. And I think that's why she stayed around longer, because I think they wanted her to just kind of relax and put her wall down.
Right.
For her to like really connect with somebody.
Right.
But it didn't happen.
Right. Because all, I think it was Walter basically also said that all the guys were like, she's cool as heck. She's a cool girl, right? Cool lady, right? And then Phil did call Corey out for playing with Tasia. And then, the question was asked to Tasia, is there maybe somebody? She's like, nobody going around the block on me. I don't circle back around. This ain't a double back drive-by type situation.
I was like, all right, girl.
Everybody got one shot. If you miss, you miss.
You miss. That's it. Moving on.
So go to break and everything. Again, kind of alluded to it. Yeah, they were breaking a lot.
I was like, if y'all got to change chairs one more time.
It was, let us know what y'all thought, because it seemed like when we were watching it seemed like it was like 30 minutes of commercials and then 30 minutes of content.
Right.
It was a lot of commercials.
But it wasn't seamless.
No.
It's like the more she says, we got to go to break. And then it didn't take to a commercial, but it was more like, all right, let's change chairs. Right. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I just had a set. How much money do you need to make on this? Okay. All righty.
And then Zadia comes back. She does acknowledge her red flag behavior.
Right. She apologized to Dante.
Her and Dante seem to have had some conversations.
Right. They talked it through.
He was like,
Dante was like, I wasn't saying I was choosing her over her. I was just saying that she's in the mix.
Right. And again, that risotto must have been good, because he again mentioned that risotto. He was like, I was eating my little risotto.
My risotto. So I thought she was coming back for us to have our conversation. He's a vegan, isn't he?
Yes, he's
You need to eat listen. Yeah. When you're not eating meat, you want to enjoy every dish.
So we're fasting right now, right? And I'm a meatitarian.
And I'm a pescatarian.
I need this to be over. All right. And then Aisha and Dante, who were the couple that kind of came really out of nowhere, because they really just we started seeing them again.
Yeah, they vibed
at the retreat, right?
Yeah, they picked up quick.
And they acknowledged that after the cameras went off, they had ups and downs. Congratulations, you're in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, because again, once the cameras, you have to realize, was this really true?
Right.
It's just emotional being on the set, trying to find someone, blah, blah, blah. But as they realize, they are vibing.
Yep.
And they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And that they're just working towards having a strong relationship. Yep. Which is good. I'm excited for them. And it felt genuine and authentic. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah. All right. And then, now also, did you all notice? Because Camille had a stank face the entire time.
Oh, when they were talking
to Aisha and Dante.
Oh, yeah. She don't like her. I mean, and she made sure she kept it up all the way to the end.
At least Zadia could at least put on her fake smile and be like, okay, I'm happy for them.
Right.
Camille was just like, the demon had manifested fully in her.
Don't say that. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't do that. But one of them personalities, I guess the depressed one or the angry one, was in full effect, because she was just and as a result, Cornelius also had to look angry and upset because he couldn't even smile because Camille wouldn't let him.
Only thing I want to say, at least she kept the same energy about her throughout. I'd rather you keep the same energy that you have than for all of a sudden you can switch up and be all into what she's saying.
I get that.
So I give her for keeping this 100 a star. She kept the same energy.
Yep. You say so. All right. And then as they're wrapping, now it was interesting because we didn't get to, we had the other people on stage. Who was it? I know Carrington, who is got blonde hair now.
Yeah, I was like, I almost forgot who these people were. Like,
And I forgot the dude who got kicked off first night.
yeah, did he get an honorable mention?
No, you just see him every now and then sitting there. But he got nothing out of it.
Dang.
At least Libba had a line or two when she ran after Tasia.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
So then they're closing, and Tyrone, they ask anybody
because
sometimes people want to shoot their shot,
right?
And we've had a
few.
few.
In a minute now, you're looking at God then.
Well, Tyrone was like, "I'm good with all these, but Miss Host, what your name is?
What your name is, girl? What you doing at the show?
Can I have your number?
Right." Right.
Can I have your number?
And everybody was vouching for Tyrone, like, you got a good job, girl.
Right. So, and then something else that didn't happen on the reunion, but something I saw just kind of looking around. So we got to give at least some kind of apology to Sean, because Sean was like, they kept messing up my title of my job. Because y'all know at first it was like he's a journalist, then he's a blogger, then he's a creator. So yeah, so Sean.
He got a real job?
Sean got a real job. I don't know what it was. I just know he was like, look, y'all keep messing up my title. I know Sean's an actor. I know he does that, but I can't remember the other thing that he does.
Okay.
That he said he does.
Okay. Because we were like, what is this?
So yeah.
We do read the subtitles.
Right.
So please put it on there correctly.
And then that was it. And we get a preview of the next season, which is starting next week.
Woo, we're back into it. So, gotta learn the names.
So y'all might as well just stick around, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications.
Why you playing with our hearts?
And they're not doing the casting special, so we might have to do a video coming up here pretty soon just to kind of introduce as far as what we find out from folks. So
yeah, because are they at least putting it on the page?
I don't know, because OWN sometimes don't do everything.
They don't own it
in a timely fashion, right? They don't own what they do. Like how we did that. All right. That's it for this time. Have a great one. We'll see you next video. Be blessed.